Welcome back to Improvision Entertainment. My name is Huntermun, and I didn't click the camera right away. That's fine though. This is Euro Truck Simulator 2, and I'm Huntermun, like I said. Okay, so we are currently about to go from Le Mans to Rennes, which I believe is France, even though I don't know my geography very well. But I assume this is still France, because Nightmorphous just told me it's France. I'm about to continue news, unless people don't want me to in the chat at twitch.tv/HunterMun. So, trigger warning for the news. It may people find the news upsetting. Let's see here. What was I going to? Oh. So that's the route. There's no question marks until we get to our destination that we need to worry about. However, I do have enough money to get another garage. We are slowly progressing towards. Normally, I'd be getting the garages a lot other places. But right now, we are trying to get the achievement for all of the garages in Italy. So now we have that. So now we can get 5 more drivers, which we probably won't be doing during the course of this trip because this trip is relatively short, as you saw by the map. Oh, and then I forgot to hit the button on the news. All right, news is happening.
In public, at events that aren't even mine. It's creepy.
Verona's around an hour away from you by car.
Doing the things that you're accused of doing.
Fair Verona.
About his age should really stay away from that one. So, if Matt Gaetz is too much of a coward to debate me, which he probably is, let's make sure we show him how we treat pedophiles. Go online, votejones2022.com, donate, and we're gonna send this creep and miserable son of a bitch home. Thank you.
Wow.
No, I gotta say, referencing the Justice Department investigation into Matt Gaetz potentially paying a minor for sex is... That's what you do. That is what you should do if you're running against him. And he is being investigated by the DOJ.
Yeah. No, but why wouldn't you?
I warned you about the news, y'all.
It's just that Democrats are trained by their consultants to be idiots and to not fight back. So I love that Rebecca Jones was not corrupted by that. And she's running a mean, lean, excellent campaign. Look, I don't know if that district is winnable or not. I literally don't know. I haven't looked at the numbers. But I do know if you're going to win it, that's how you're going to win it. And not by being a stupid corporate Democrat that goes, no, Republicans are great and I love my opponent, but just could you please vote for me instead? Yeah, goddamn right. Kick him and kick him in the balls.
All right, kick him in the balls. We'll leave you guys with that as we go to break. When we come back, we've got more news for you, including...
Kick him in the balls! The gonads, if you will.
Calling out the Democratic Party for promoting monsters in the Republican Party. An incredible interview with Kamala Harris.
Oh, did you hear me earlier about the changes to the poll, Nightmorphous?
Okay.
Because my viewer count went down and you were quiet for a second, so I don't know if there's a corollary there or
the same bullet points that she's
I just don't know.
To speak at a crowd. Now that's also true, by the way, and that's what Sarah Palin did in the Joe Biden debate. She was so nervous, and then she realized, oh, I don't actually have to answer the questions. I'll just repeat my talking points, and it totally worked. Because corporate media was like, bravo! She did not actually.
Your vote is still the same? All right.
Stage.
Cool, just checking.
She cleared the lowest bar in America. We're going to call it a tie. Okay. And so.
Most people don't change their votes. I would say 98%, or generally speaking, about 100% of people who are not me.
Unless it's Rebecca Jones. Okay.
Because I am the first person who votes, just to test and make sure that the poll is working.
It should be protected from Nicolas Cage-style thefts.
Also because, I mean, you know, even presidents vote in the presidential election, right? So, same basic premise there. But I also am just about the only person who changes her vote, so...
Boebert supporter, LOL. Of course! Are you kidding me? Boebert might think I'm a Boebert supporter. There's like a 12% chance she tweets that out. Anyway. Century22 says, I love to see the respect Anna and Jake have for each other. They can genuinely disagree, yet genuinely listen to each other.
Yep.
That's true.
Agreed. Okay. Hold on, Anna. I'm talking.
Saw that one coming.
Guys, it's not that hard to listen to one another. You should give it a shot. Well, you're our audience, so you almost certainly do. Yeah, of course. And by the way,
69,000
there's nothing
euros.
wrong with saying
Nice.
I mean, I made most of the good points there, but I'm kidding, Anna. I'm kidding.
We'll
Yeah,
let
Jay.
the audience be the judge of that.
Okay. All right. Lord Namk writes in, hell yeah, Rebecca, get that POS. Nada Dragon says, never come between a mom and her offspring if you know what's good for you. I love this one. Slightly Tethered wrote in, she should have free Nestor shirts. Rebecca, think about it.
Oh my God, so
Think
good.
about it. That's really funny. Okay?
Yes.
All right. And then I can't wait for Matt Gaetz to do his fake outrage. You don't say this about my children. It's now you can't believe. I mean, not children. I mean, it's not a child, but it could be a child. I'm still outraged. Force him into that, okay? Joe Anderson with a great point. Now this is YouTube members talking about Ukraine. He said, if we only put up this kind of money to defend the Palestinians or for Yemen,
I mean,
if
true.
we put up the same amount of money we did for Ukraine to the Palestinians, we'd have 2 states already, and we'd be done with this nonsense. Okay, so bless your heart for saying that. Phyllis Master said, I watch Listen every evening while I paint. I wonder if it affects how the art turns out. Thank you for giving me the truth about our cracked society. Okay, I think there's some chance it could affect your art. Do you have a lot of angry art? Okay, you have a lot of art with dad jokes in it. But we love you for doing that and listening and watching while you work. Michael
and we're
says, "This is a super
casually
smart
going
audience.
for
Much
an
love and
achievement
respect to
for
everyone here.
big, heavy
agree.
deliveries.
I can't believe I'm going to run out of time. But
which
I love
require
it,
like
guys.
1,000 experience, so probably not going to be this trip, but maybe the trip after if I keep trying to do it.
All right, back on TYT. Jake, Anna, news
I don't think it
forward.
has to be consecutive,
All right,
though.
well,
But I was surprised that I
Chuck
got
Todd, of
progress
all
on the
people,
achievement
had
the
a
last...
Good question in the context of an interview.
I'm sorry, Chuck Todd had a good
During
question.
an interview with Vice President Kamala Harris, Chuck Todd felt the need to bring up a big issue involving the Democratic Party promoting monsters within the Republican Party. Let's watch.
I'm not going to tell people how to run their campaigns. I ran in terms of statewide office.
Would you have done this? Would you have done this? Is this something you'd be comfortable
I'm not going to tell people how to run their campaigns, Chuck. I ran for a statewide for Attorney General, re-election, won both times, for Senate, won that race, and I know that it is best to let a candidate, along with their advisors, let them make the decision based on what they believe is in the best interest of their state.
So that was Kamala Harris's answer to the question about why the Democratic Party is not only promoting, but literally funding the campaigns of extremist Republicans within Republican primary races.
Yep.
Now, we all know why they do it. They do it because they think, obviously, it's easier for us to beat the lunatics. Much harder to beat just a run-of-the-mill, standard, old-school Republican, which, by the way, doesn't really inspire much confidence in the Democratic Party. And also, let's keep in mind that they're playing with fire when they do it, because there's a pretty significant possibility that the lunatic could win in the general election. But she tried to skirt
You
that
somehow missed
question. She
Steam,
tried to
or
avoid having
you
to
missed the
really
beginning of
answer
stream.
it.
Hello, Gaffer. How you
But
doing?
he tried again.
You want me to turn off the
Put
news? Just
pressure
let me
on
know.
him. So let's take a look at how she handled that.
Stream's gonna probably be going for a little while, unless it gets super hot in here and it becomes muggy and uncomfortable. I'm gonna at least use this as an opportunity to catch up on the news, personally.
Less than 2 months, we
stream.
are looking at a midterm election in which
I am
so
currently
much is on
listening to the
line.
news for this previous
And look,
Monday.
they love that statement. So much is on
I
the
believe it
line.
was
so
Monday.
much is on the line, because if you don't vote
Yeah,
for us,
Monday the 12th of
country's,
September, 2022.
Democratic process will be in jeopardy by these extremist Republicans, which, by the way, we took the money that you donated to our party and funneled it into the campaigns of the extremist Republicans that we're now fear-mongering about. Think about that part of it as
It'd
well.
be cool if the
right?
in-game
Where does
little
that
cell
money come
phone
from? yes,
like,
the corporate Democrats take in a ton of
showed my
money
cell phone
from
screen
corporate donors.
so I could see
But
it
there's
when I got
also small dollar
notifications.
donors
I'm happy
who
it's got
gave
a
to the
Rocket League
Democratic
car, but I
Party
kind of wish I could
after,
have my
you
Rocket
know,
League car with my
the
paint
Supreme
job.
Court dismantled
News is fun.
reproductive
All right,
rights in
news
this
can be
country.
fun.
Do
It
they
can
know
also
that
be
their
trigger
money's
warning
being
for
spent
people
on
depending on how bad it
funding
is.
extremist Republicans in primary races? I doubt it.
Yeah. So, look, it's supremely selfish because it's saying, I care more about my career than I care about the threat to democracy. I'm telling you, the threat to democracy is super serious and real and puts us all in danger. And I gave money to the guy who was putting us in that danger because I thought it would help me. You guys might all get screwed by it, and we might lose our democracy. But I thought it would help me a couple percentage points. So
Well, welcome to the stream, Gaffer. Oh, and you should know that since the release of the poll, there's been a couple of games added to it, and we are halfway through the poll. So if you want, you can change your vote by using the same link as before for what games.
So a lot of these idiots think, Tip O'Neill said politics, all politics
the
is
same link as
local.
before to vote in the poll again. You just hit edit your responses. Things like Gotham Knights and Phoenix Point and State of Decay. Those are all on there now when they were not when the poll launched.
A little bit of a red wave. All the monsters are gonna
Oh, and A
win.
Plague Tale has been removed because it's leaving Game Pass, so I wouldn't be able to play it next month on stream because it won't be in Game Pass next month.
Democrats they're not much better than Republicans. I mean, policy-wise, they're not going to burn down the House socially, but here they are. I mean, the number one problem we have with Trump and why we call him a fascist is because
Didn't find
he's
anything
a
interesting?
threat-
All right,
he's
fair
an
enough.
Actual threat to democracy. And here are the corporate Democrats saying, we don't mind. We're going to help people just like him as long as it helps our cause a tiny bit. Not your cause, not the voters' cause, but our selfish, ego-driven careers.
Right, and read between the lines, right? What is the message here? The message is we're not going to run on substance. We're not going to talk about materially improving people's lives.
Right.
We just need a boogeyman to campaign against. And they prop up the boogeymen, and then they turn around and campaign against them and fearmonger about them, when behind the scenes it was the Democratic Party partly funding the campaign of the extremist candidate. And I want to remind you of where a time when this strategy actually
Oh,
backfired.
already almost at the destination. Well, that's a really short trip. We'll have to make another trip right on top of it.
A memo from the Hillary Clinton 2016 presidential campaign. This was a memo from the campaign to the Democratic National Committee. It said the following: the variety of candidates is a positive here. They're talking about the Republican primaries at the time. And many of the
Try shifting more. It looks like you have 16 gears.
To
Yes.
move the more established candidates further to the right. In this scenario, we don't
It's
want
harder for me to gauge
marginalize
exactly
the
when I
more
need to shift
extreme
because I have so many
candidates,
gears.
but make them more
I am,
Pied Piper candidates who actually represent
Renee's?
the
I
mainstream
think it's
of the
Renee's.
Republican Party.
Bon
And if you look at
voyage,
some
20
of
of
the congressional
31.
races that are taking place right now, I
Your
want to provide
DAF
some
can go up to
receipts. I wanna provide
145?
some
No, it
specific
can't.
examples. For
It
instance,
can only go to
let's take a
90.
quick little trip to
I can't make it go
Illinois,
any
where
faster.
Republican
This is the
State
same problem we were
Senator,
having when we were trying to
Darren
play online
Bailey
the other day
won
together.
Illinois GOP gubernatorial nomination.
It can only go 90 kilometers per hour, and it can't go faster than that, no matter what I do.
The Governors Association spent $30 million to help him. Bailey is, of course, endorsed by Donald Trump, and he made his name by opposing COVID-19 public health measures, pushing to evict Chicago from Illinois, and also favoring the banning of
Definitely under
abortion
that,
in
going
the
a little
state.
too
So
fast.
he's an extremist, he's a Trump lackey, and he was promoted by the Democratic Party. I have other examples, including
red light,
the
red
same
light.
awful strategy in Pennsylvania with State Senator Doug Mastriano.
I hate red lights without lines because I
that
can't tell
day.
exactly where I need to stop.
Yeah. So look, these establishment idiots never learn. So that Pied Piper candidate they were talking about in the Hillary Clinton campaign was a guy named Donald
Well,
Trump.
I'm kind of plotting out
Now,
the
you would think after making
the truck I want.
that nuclear mistake, that
Doing
anyone
research
who has
offline,
2 IQ
because what I really want
could figure out
is
don't
I want
do
one
that.
with a mainly a
But
display
no,
down here in the middle
infinite greed
that
of
is
corporate
very
Democrats.
readable to me when I'm
So
in
we're gonna do
first
the
person
same
like
exact
this.
strategy
That's
that really
actually kind of like the
burned
number one
country to the
thing.
ground. And look at Illinois.
And this one's okay.
$30 million. Oh my God, what we could do with
But I want to
$30
look at the other
million
ones.
For progressive candidates.
So it's easy to read when my high
we'll
beams
give
are
all
on
the
and stuff
money
like
to
that.
candidates, and we'll take that $30 million and give it to the Republican, and not just the Republican, but a fascist Republican. These guys, these corporate Democrats are monsters. I mean,
And
look, they aid
and then I'm
the
gonna
worst people
custom
in the
paint job
country.
it,
And why do
and
they do it?
hopefully
Anna's right.
try and get
It's
Improvision
because
Entertainment.
They don't have an economic message to run on.
And whatever
because
I
they
named my
serve
shipping
their
company, I
donors.
don't remember I named
So
it something
since they're
else.
corrupt and they screw you at every turn on economic issues, they have to say, well, my only option to win is to say, the other guy's worse. The other guy's worse. So that's why they spend millions upon millions they're actively finding boogeymen and promoting them so they can run against them, because otherwise they can't win because they're liars and they never deliver on their agenda.
Yep. And just to give you the Pennsylvania example, because I promised. So Republican State Senator Doug Mastriano, a leading 2020 election denier, won the GOP gubernatorial nomination last month. And he
thank you.
himself,
I
his
assume you did that
campaign
because I have my
spent
turn
about
signal on.
$370,000 on television ads, but his Democratic opponent, Josh Shapiro, spent even more money to support him. $840,000 on ads designed to help him win the Republican primary. And just to give you an idea of how disastrous Mastriano is, he pushed the notion that Pennsylvania's legislature could appoint its own slate of Trump electors, pro-Trump electors. So he wanted to aid and abet Trump's attempts to overturn the results of the presidential election in 2020. And should Mastriano win
most
the
Republicans
governor's
were in
race,
favor
he
of
could spark
there
a
being a coup in
constitutional
which
crisis
Trump
in
kept being
2024
president.
by trying to prevent the state from sending to Washington a slate of Democratic electors against the will of the voters. That's who he is. And again, if he wins, understand that he was propped up by his Democratic opponent. It is insane. You're right, Cenk, it's incredibly selfish, and that's what we're dealing with honestly, the mainstream Democratic Party. This is what they're leaning toward in order to win elections. But again, they're playing with fire.
Yeah, the corporate Democrats.
Eric says because you raise the speed more than 2K RPM, you have very large increase in fuel consumption. Wait, that says 485 and with. Wait, it means 1,000. Oh, it means 1,000 in a single trip. It means 1,000 in a single trip. I must have misread that achievement.
If he's in a debate with Josh Shapiro,
you have a very large increase in fuel consumption. Your consumption is at 2K RPMs, is almost 80%.
Exactly.
Maybe less, but it's clearly above normal values.
But it will.
All consumption rate, speed at 90 is 25 to 30.
Primaries across 9 states.
So
it's
less
bound to
gears is
happen
better?
eventually,
Question mark?
And it's a devastating point.
Yeah,
All right, I guess we're not
and
going
by
for
the
that
way,
achievement
it's
right
in
now. We'll have
Pennsylvania.
to set
So
it
did
up.
Josh Shapiro have to do that? Did the corporate Democrats have to give the worst people
Right now,
in
I'm trying to
America
get
all that money? No.
contracts that are
where John
going
Fetterman is running,
to
and he didn't give the
the
quarter. He didn't give Republicans anything,
West.
including any quarter. Right? He's like, no. Here's what I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you.
Wait,
a
do I
stick
not
up
have
to a political
Southampton?
stick upside your head?
I got
Okay?
places in the UK I
And
still haven't
he's
been.
Kicking Dr.
Little dots,
Oz's
that's what that means, right?
ass.
Oh, I could go up
And you
there.
have to give Dr. Oz money to do it.
Less
Run like
RPM
a
better.
man, okay? Run with strength.
6 gears are hard to get
Or maybe
confused.
I
Well, I'm
should
not
say
getting
run like a woman,
confused.
because these days,
I mean, I'm
those are
pressing the
ones
wrong
that are
buttons on the
fighting back
controller
like
sometimes,
Rebecca
but that's
Jones in
not
Florida.
confusion.
So,
That's just I'm pressing the wrong buttons.
But these Democrats, I'm afraid that they're going to join the Republicans in ending democracy. All right, we got a bonus episode for the members, tyt.com/join. It's going to be amazing. You guys are going to want to check it out. And if you're on YouTube, you just hit that join button below. We'll see you there.
Let's go with route length. We want something that goes west. Oh, that goes west. Okay, so fewer gears. I can try that. I want to get a nice truck that I'm comfortable with, and then that I can start buying for the employees. Because we're going to get to the point where I'm going to start wanting to put better trucks with my employees rather than the cheapest truck I can find, so that they can be more proficient. Just my recommendation, change box, use your too much fuel per kilometer. I mean, I'm not super worried about it right now, but I am taking it under advisement. And I do find having that many gears is somewhat cumbersome sometimes. It feels like I'm changing gears too often. Also want to get a truck that doesn't have these yellow lights on the top of them because I find them visually distracting while I'm driving. Alright, we're going to go briefly to the right. And we're going to get this agency. Okay. Turn a little bit more of the gray location. Okay, we've got a little bit of a trip on us, so... I forgot I'm still in the same video, so bonus episode for Monday the 12th.
Alright, we're back! I know you missed us. I know it was only 4 minutes, but you missed us. Alright, bonus episode. We are going to have a little bit of fun, okay? There's going to be drugs in the bonus episode.
There's going to be
also
drugs
gonna
in the
be
bonus
party.
episode.
I mean, what else do you want from us, okay? So, Casper, take it away.
Let's do it.
Bro, I was looking at some areas, the way that the prices soar up, the way that the prices soar up, because I'm guessing that don't even know much in inventory when it comes to homes they're selling right now. Nobody's even trying to sell their homes. So everybody's like, yo, when the interest rate is good, that is high, that's great, because people have to sell their home for less, so you could buy a home for less. And it's like, bitch, it doesn't matter if the interest rate is mother high as and actually,
I mean, she's not wrong.
Inventory, that's one, but that's another. Now let's talk about the fact that the rent. I was talking about buying a house. Now I'm going back to rent. Like, how are people surviving? I want to know.
I mean... Combo meals at fast food places should not be $11.
Streets because they can't afford housing, and it's nice to see a celebrity with resources drawing attention.
What? That was a
to
celebrity?
real
What celebrity
issues
was that?
Ordinary people are dealing with across the country, and we all know that housing has become incredibly unaffordable. We have a shortage of housing. We also have a problem with corporations and private equity firms buying up what's available in the limited inventory of housing, which prices families out of being able to purchase
I know, right?
home.
Gaffer, I'm
And
like,
then
wait, that was a celebrity? Who was...
the demand for
I thought that
rental
was just some
property,
person
which
speaking
means,
up on
with the limited supply,
YouTube,
prices
you
are
know?
gonna go up
Or Twitch, or TikTok,
astronomically.
probably TikTok.
And if you look at some parts of the country, rent has gone up as much as $2,000 a month. It is insane. And I mean, $2,000 on top
Wow,
of what the
$2,000 a
rent
month is more
already
than I have
was.
ever paid in rent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So take a look at that graph, and it gives you a sense of how much the cost of housing, how much the cost
I've
of
been
rent
debating making the
specifically has gone up
picture-in-picture
just a few years.
bigger
Okay,
when I
that
do
graph
these
dates
things.
Back to 2020. It's insane.
Yeah. Okay, first of all, Cardi B is awesome. Second of all,
Wait, that was
this
Cardi
is
B?
Why I don't like the
At least
shirt
I've
that
heard
says
of that
"Eat the Rich."
person.
Doesn't it depend?
I think she
And
interviewed
so
Bernie Sanders at
here's,
one point.
How you can usually tell, to be honest. And it, like, if folks grew up rich, it's not impossible for them to be nice guys. I met one or two, right, and that care about other people.
Update your subscription to me
But
by...
It's less likely.
Russian card?
Unfortunately,
Wait,
they
you
grew up in
did?
a culture that thinks that they're.
I didn't know
their
you
crap
had an
doesn't
original
stink,
subscription, Gaffer. Or
and-
did I?
and
Wait,
they
did
have
I
no
acknowledge it
empathy
before?
problems.
But,
But people who grew up
In any event,
poor or middle
thank you
class
for the
and then
subscription.
became rich, like Cardi B,
you know, I meant to
so they
check
remember
before
how it
stream
was
started.
before. They remember
I can
how
check
it was
between
to struggle,
recordings.
right? And so
I think I
here
should
she
get a
is
payout
saying,
from Twitch
"Well, how are you
pretty
supposed to
soon.
afford these
It was
goddamn
supposed to happen
houses?" Right?
near my birthday, I
So
remember the
isn't
last
it
time I
interesting that
checked.
it's Cardi B
Mathematically
saying this
speaking.
as opposed to a Democratic leader or someone in mainstream media. You know why? Because
Is there any pretty new game you'd like to see me play on stream?
All of the anchors on television grew up incredibly.
Because that's
well.
usually what the Twitch money goes
So
towards, is
they've never known
purchasing a
time
game for me to
where
play on
it's
stream.
I mean, and plus, like, for the politicians, they're all 100
And now
years
you
old.
somehow updated
They're like,
it.
what
Cool.
do you mean? We bought games for $5 back in the day, right? So they have no connection to actual human beings, and so they can't show any of the empathy that Cardi B just showed.
Yeah, none. We actually have another portion of the video. Let's take a quick look at that.
And people be like, well, you was the one that told people to vote for Joe Biden. But this is the thing, right? After the pandemic,
so I
knew
need
that
a
this
trip
was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna have a
worth it. So
financial
I should look
crisis.
for
And the thing about it
a
is
heavy
that this
cargo
is not
leaving
only in
Istanbul
America. It's
the next
all
time I
over
have
the
to do
world.
Istanbul.
This is insane. Like the way that the rent has been rising. I
hit
just really be wondering, like, yo,
2,500 kilometers and heavy cargo if I
all
can
these
at the same
promises are
time.
being made, but living is unbearable. Like, let me tell you something. If you planning to move out your parents' house, you better go clean the dishes right now. Your mom is making you. If it's annoying to live with your mom, you better go clean the dishes, because the rent right now, I don't know. You're gonna have to sell your soul or your. I feel like we haven't been normal ever since the pandemic. I wonder when this economy crisis is gonna get better. Like, this is insane.
Damn,
It's
that.
insane. And
Look
we
at
would
where
need
that
the left
cargo
to
is
win
parked.
in order to actually do something about it.
That's not a good
and
park.
That would require the left to think strategically.
Like, why you gotta put it
about,
where there's
you
like
know,
a
what actually
cement
appeals
half
to
wall
voters,
or quarter wall?
what voters are concerned about. Branding exercises.
How do I
on
get out of
Twitter
here? Can I
don't
pull
usually
straight out and get
translate
enough room?
to
I might be able to.
winning elections. And I say that as people are just so obsessed with purity, 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 instead of listening to what voters are concerned about and aggressively going after those issues without getting distracted by endless purity tests on Twitter.
Yeah, one thing she said there is it's obvious that she's on social media too, because she said, you know, don't tell me you voted for Biden. Now that's the talking point that's all over social media. But wait a minute, Cardi B had the right votes in each instance. In the primary, she was a huge Bernie Sanders supporter. Bernie Sanders is the only candidate that actually promised to do anything about housing prices.
Right.
Biden didn't even make that promise. But in the general, so she voted for Bernie Sanders then. She was right. She was
I want to
right,
thank
and
all
this
of my
proves that she was
subscribers,
100% right.
all my Twitch
Then in the
viewers,
general election,
everybody who
Donald
follows.
Trump, who gave $2 trillion tax cuts
And
to
if
the
you're
rich,
subscribing
said,
on
"I'm gonna give
YouTube,
even
I
more
thank
to
you
the rich."
also.
How about minimum wage? She said, I don't think there should be a minimum
I spent
wage.
yesterday
So
making
drive wages down
like.
even lower. Well, what the
Oh
hell
wow,
did you
helicopter!
vote for that monster?
What is happening at
So
this
you vote
intersection
for
right now?
Mr. Neutral Joe Biden, as opposed to
Making
the
like
guy who wanted to end democracy.
16
So
thumbnails
both
for
were
Spider-Man Miles
absolutely
Morales.
correct votes by
Because
Cardi
Gravy
B.
Coffee was all
They get
like,
on our ass anyway.
why don't you do
'Cause they
thumbnails?
wanna
And I'm like,
distract
man,
people
because almost
so they'll
nobody
vote for the
cares.
Republican,
And he was
right?
wanting to watch
And
Spider-Man.
So don't give
I was
in
like,
to
all right,
any of
well,
that horse
for
crap.
Spider-Man.
You voted for Bernie and then you voted for Biden, or Bernie and then Hillary. Your votes were
You know what? I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna hit
correct.
if I keep going.
Okay, it's not that complicated. Vote against the fascists in the general election. Vote for the progressive in the primary. And Cardi B's
Why Joe
not an
Biden?
empty-headed
Why Joe
celebrity.
Biden,
She
Gaffer?
did her
Also, why is your name a
research.
different color?
She backed
Did you
Bernie
log back
Sanders
into the chat or
after having
something?
done
I don't
that
think I've seen.
research, and she was
Guys,
completely right.
what are we doing?
Now, all the so-called experts and news anchors on television, are they all going nuts over
What are they?
housing
Are they
prices?
wrecked?
No,
I think they're
none of them
wrecked.
are. None of them.
This is
Why?
entertaining.
Almost every one of them has a multi-million-dollar home. They don't care about housing prices at all. They got theirs. They
Oh,
don't
I didn't
even
know you
what
could just
she's
change color.
talking about. But it's really important for Cardi B to say this, because if a progressive candidate says it, they will say, "Oh,
Well,
they're not a real
guys, now we're
Democrat.
doing this.
Real Democrats support Joe Biden and shut up about the real problems in America." Okay, but if a celebrity says it, they're like, "Whoa, a celebrity! Well, we should cover it." Okay.
Are they
So
wrecked?
Thank you, Cardi B. We
Yeah, they've
appreciate
got
it.
lights on. Well, definitely don't do what I'm doing.
Shit. Like, I'm so sick of everything. Everything in politics. It's the same shit over and over again. Same people in their corners, unwilling to listen to the other side, or anyone who might have a nuanced opinion on anything. Same talking points, same plan of attack. It's just, I'm so sick of it. How do you keep doing this job, Cenk? With
How do you both keep
charisma
doing this
that
job
you
if
have?
you're that
I don't
upset?
understand it. Like, how do you keep doing it? How do you do it?
Okay, this is now instantly my favorite part of the show.
Of course.
Because we talking about my charisma. All right, anyway.
Can you fucking imagine for a second? Just fucking imagine talking about endless criminal justice reform on this show, making it abundantly clear that people who are caught with marijuana possession should not be in prison. And then, take the... Honestly, I go out of my way to be as clear and nuanced as possible on where I stand on criminal justice reform. Doesn't matter. Just simply saying, hey, violent people should be taken out of the public so they don't hurt people and they get rehabilitated. That, for some reason, according to the purists on Twitter, is unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
Who cares?
Good luck winning. Good luck winning elections with that message.
All right.
Because again, real life isn't your little Twitter filter bubble. Real life is communities, including, yes, communities that have mostly like black majorities, brown majorities, who are concerned about violent crime because they are victimized by it. But who cares? Let's ignore them. Let's ignore them. Because it feels way better to be super pure on Twitter. It makes me crazy. The reason why it makes me crazy
Your news,
is because I want
is
to
it a
win,
discussion of something?
and I actually want criminal justice. You don't get criminal justice reform.
Yes,
when
currently
you're
Anna is
pushing
talking
for
about criminal
policies
justice reform.
that
Okay,
scare
so
people, like,
the basic
let's
layout.
just abolish prisons and abolish
First of all, I
cops.
am
And then
like
what do
I
you do
am
with
missing
violent
the
criminals?
live
We
show
just
of
say, cool,
TYT
fine,
right
we
now.
get
Actually,
together, we hug it out, and
Twitch
everything
or
is right?
you
Restorative justice.
you can find
That's not
the
a
Young
message
Turks
that appeals to
on
most
the
people,
tyt.com
most voters.
website,
They want
on
actual concrete solutions
youtube.com
to this,
/The
and not
Young
taking
Turks,
people who are a threat to public
and
safety
twitch.tv / The Young Turks, or possibly TYT. And they're live every day for,
efforts
well, the
that would
main
take them
show
out of the public
is for
is
2
a
hours at
problem.
6 p.m.
That does not appeal to
And
voters.
this
So I'm
this
concerned that the left is gonna
bonus
lose
episode
elections,
is an
number
extra
one.
half
But
hour
more
they
importantly,
do
the opportunity
after
for
those 2
actual
hours are
criminal
done,
justice reform is starting to close
where they can
because
swear
people, for
and where they
some
don't have to worry
reason,
about ad
think that
breaks,
Norway's criminal justice system
and
just
where
isn't left enough. It's not
any of the
left
hosts
enough.
can like
Let's
go
do
off
something
on
that
like
no other
a
country
tangent
has
about
ever
something like
done,
Anna's doing
abolish
right now,
prisons and
criminal
abuse.
justice
Good luck
reform,
with that. Let's see how that
and
works
how
out for you.
people on the
Insane.
woke left
Yeah.
respond to her.
Insane.
Anna, the difference between you and me.
Look at RPM.
Is that you respect those critics.
This truck has a very wide blue
Like,
area of RPM.
Here, I'll give you examples. Glenn Greenwald's attacks against us bothered me in the beginning because I used to respect Glenn, and so it was sad to see that happen. And I was like, look, here's a guy who broke major stories, so let me hear him out. And so I genuinely listened
I should have
wanted to see if he had a legitimate point. And then after a while, it became clear, oh no, this guy just unfortunately has lost his way, right? And he's just doing this for money. It's super sad. And then I stopped caring. Like Jimmy in the beginning, since he was on the network and we were friends, again, same thing, a little bit of listening, but nowhere near Glenn's response.
This is not
right?
the usual
So,
like mainstream
then after a
news in
while,
America.
I get
This
it.
is
Jimmy's
more
doing this
progressive
thing that he
media
said on
that
air he
I
would do, which is
consume.
He said, "Oh, you're crazy for
Because
turning
I am
down
a
that
progressive,
cigar, right? I would've
and
taken
most
the
of our
money no
news
matter
is
what." Well, okay.
conservative,
He was telling the
because
truth.
our
So
politics
now
are
do I
conservative
go
in
and,
America.
like, worry about
Our
Jimmy's
politicians are
opinion?
much more
Like, oh,
conservative
I
than
wonder if
our
Jimmy's right.
people in America.
There's 0%
Though honestly,
chance of that.
that's probably
So
true a
now,
lot of
the
places.
Folks who are like leftists are not
I don't know
the
if it
same
is.
camp, don't get me wrong. They're not disingenuous.
And I
think they
probably
are,
shouldn't
they
broad
really
brush
mean
it like that,
and they,
but
and they mean well. So those are two giant differences. I don't want anybody to confuse what I'm saying, although they will. Because Anna, that's the other thing. There's nothing that is said online that will not be misconstrued.
I think
True.
It's incredible, including by people who watch the show regularly and know what my views are on criminal justice reform.
It doesn't
but
matter.
All of a sudden, like, yeah, I know it doesn't matter. It doesn't
So,
matter because it feels good. It feels really good to get kudos from all the other purists on Twitter without thinking about what you are advocating for puts us at a
so
significant
what am I looking at for
disadvantage,
RPMs,
okay?
Gaffer,
It's
exactly?
not
Like
just
what
about what your
what
little
what
group
should I be aiming
wants.
to
And
do?
by the way, what does your group really want? So what do we do?
I know in like
with
a
violent
racing game,
rapists, murderers, people
you
who
want to be
commit domestic
shifting
assault, what do we do with that
just
in the short
into
term?
or
What do
just
we do with
before
that?
you hit the red
No.
zone.
Okay,
No,
in a
Anna,
magical
if I-
world where prisons don't exist, what do we do with that?
Green areas? Well, my green
Yeah,
area is
look,
way
honestly,
small on this truck. It's
there's
one of the things I
consider
dislike
this
about its
policy
green
politics,
area.
right?
Like,
So, on
look at that,
policy,
I have
I'm
no
perfectly
wiggle
happy to have
room.
a debate about
If I'm in
that,
green,
although,
I'm in too
I saw a discussion they had
if I'm in
on
green,
Verizon,
I'm in
and I was
too
like,
high of a gear.
Wow, holy shit.
That's what
They're
that's what
really
I
bad
take
at
it from.
this. They've never thought out anything. They didn't think through, hey, if we abolish prisons, what happens next? No, you have to have an excellent plan for what happens next. You have to have the money ready to go for medical facilities,
So, like,
this, and the thing, etc.
You see that narrow
If you
ridge
had
of
a
like
real
green and
plan,
blue
we could have a
repeating
policy
where it
discussion.
currently
But
is?
let all the prisoners go is what Bane does.
That's probably the best.
I'm not having that conversation.
Because green is too
Okay,
low in this one.
on
Blue area is
politics,
power
it's much
mode,
worse.
more fuel, more power.
Are you really? It
Interesting.
is disqualifying to think that would help win elections. Disqualifying. That
Green
means
is cruising.
You don't know anything about politics. If you say,
Well,
oh,
to
I
be
think
fair,
the
I am
candidates, all the
transporting
progressive
a lot of
candidates
heavy
go out there
stuff,
and say,
so I do need the
"Let's
power more
get rid
often
of
than
all
not.
prisons." Oh my God! I would tackle you. Are you insane that it's you will
But I hear you.
guaranteed
Okay.
lose him that election. Guaranteed. If you don't know that, please let the grown-ups work here, okay?
You're not an expert. You're not an expert, okay? You're not, you're not giving an opportunity for people who have dedicated all of their expertise to this issue, yet can't answer the simple question of what do we do with murderers and rapists if we abolish prisons? Where do we put them? What do we do with them? Do we just, okay, we rehabilitate them? Great. How? Do you take them out of society? Do you? And is it mandatory? Is it court ordered? Or is it just like, hey, we would like you to get rehabilitated.
Hi guys.
And here's some therapy that you
going
can
kind of slow.
Like, I seriously, genuinely answer the question. They won't answer the question. That's what's driving me insane.
No, it doesn't. Stop. Look, guys, Anna, not guys, you, Anna, in specific, okay? Somebody right before the show that I know from left-wing circles, I know them personally, wrote to me about how you and I are falling into copaganda.
Right, of course, propaganda, right.
Yeah, and how we're making a
Go ahead and
mistake.
tell people who have been victimized by rape and murder that, they're falling for propaganda. Tell them that. And then run for Congress and see how that works out for you. Continue, Jane.
Anna, instead of getting mad, this was my reaction. I don't care.
I get it. I shouldn't care. But I do care, Jane, because I want to win. Okay?
I want to win.
There's the political component, and then there's also the policy, which I disagree with.
All right, well,
Another
we
thing
cruising.
is, why is the left so desperate to alienate anyone who doesn't agree with their most extreme policy proposals?
No, because Anna, they're being selfish. Let's get real. Real, okay?
100%.
If you poll a Black or Latino neighborhood or Asian neighborhood or any neighborhood, okay, do you think we should abolish prisons? The answer would come in at 112 to -12, okay? So there's not one. I'd be shocked if you got.
I mean, I don't think you should abolish
saying
prisons.
We should abolish prisons. So you're gonna tell.
I think you should
Black
stop
and
locking up
brown
people
voters
for
that they don't
drugs.
know. You studied it, and you know. And
You
you're
should
gonna
be
force
helping
them on.
people about drugs, not
Okay,
locking them up over it.
Why don't you just say, I plan to lose every election. I don't care what the voters think at all. I don't care about minorities.
Why
I don't
so
care
what,
about the
Gaffer?
poor, I don't care about the middle
Why do I
class.
not? Why do I
don't
not think you should
care.
abolish prisons?
I want to prove how.
Because I mean, some people need to be held somewhere.
Okay, but to that
The
I
people
say
who
this. Fuck off. Okay,
refuse
with your
to be
childish antics
helped,
about how you have a misconceived
redeemed.
plan about how you're going to
I mean,
prisons. Just please say it in
now,
the comfort of
conversely,
your own
I think you should
basement,
abolish
because if
every
you say it out
for-profit
loud, the
prison.
right wing will pretend that we're all
There's
in
no
favor.
excuse,
I'm not going to
if
be
you're a
in favor of
moral
something that
person,
polls
I
at
think,
-28%.
for there to be the
Please,
existence
please don't
of
be
for-profit
Okay,
prisons.
let's move on.
All right.
Because
let's
once what
go
you're doing
to
is you're
drug dealers
monetizing
Europe, who are,
people's
capitalizing off
incarceration.
of the Queen's death. So this
Like-
is supposed to be a fun story, I guess. So opportunistic drug
that's
dealers
totally
in
fucked up.
the UK
And you'll find
are
excuses
creatively
to
cashing
either
in
lock
on
people
the
up
Queen's
or
death.
keep
In
them
fact,
locked
they're
up.
sending out text messages to their clients, for lack of a better word, letting them know that in honor of Her Majesty's passing, there are some deep, deep discounts offered on some pretty illicit drugs, including cocaine and ketamine. So we have a few examples for you. Let's take a look at one screenshot of one of these text messages. By the way, drug dealers are sending out text messages now.
Drug dealers are
Pretty
drug
brazen.
dealers are sending out text messages.
One of them says, "Are you feeling upset or feeling down with the sad news about the Queen's death?
Like, we
Then don't
have
hesitate to contact me. I'm about until 1 a.m." And then it says, "In tribute to the Queen, who was 96 years old at the time of passing, I will reduce the price of 1 gram of Bolivian flakes,"
Oh, that's
which I've been
funny.
informed is
Is that
actually cocaine.
is that bleeped on screen?
So
Streamlabs
there you have it, Cenk. There's more
bleeped.
examples
Oh
I
no,
can
it's
read to you
bleeped in the
just a
thing.
moment, but what do you think?
I was like, I didn't see the asterisk in both places.
What I love is when we try to put
Unless you
morality on
arrest
drug
people
dealers.
for drugs, more
And
people will
don't
take
get me wrong,
drugs
a lot of
because
people do it for
they
economic reasons.
are
I'm
not
like
in
one of
danger
those,
except for
people who are like,
treatment.
oh my God, they're deeply immoral.
Oh, about the
and some of them
drugs.
Are, by the way, you sell fentanyl, that's going to get people
Well,
killed.
no,
So
Gaffer. Generally speaking, a
mix.
person who does
But they're trying to
drugs
move product, man.
is
So
doing
the
drugs.
Best analogy I can give you is corporate.
like doing
executives.
drugs isn't the problem.
So is drilling for oil.
Why
going
do
to
drug
destroy
gangs
the planet?
exist, right?
Yeah. but they're making
drug gangs
millions of
exist.
bucks doing it.
People
so they're
people
gonna keep
kill
on doing
people
it.
for
And
drugs
everybody in
because
public
drugs are
media is gonna cheer
illegal.
them on. But
If
drug
drugs were
dealing
not
is
illegal,
well, actually, some drugs.
then people could take
You
drugs,
think the
decide
Oxy
that they're
folks
not
didn't
for
try
them
this?
or that they are
Oxy
for
folks
them,
were like, hey, doctors.
and
Okay, and
then they wouldn't be
make
criminals, so
any
you wouldn't
use
have
of
to
it.
worry
Oh,
about the
take
crime.
advantage. Oh, the queen
Right?
is dead. Can you believe it? Come to our
Because drugs are
symposium in
not
Vegas.
inherently
We'll pay for
bad. They're
everything.
drugs.
As long as
Alcohol
you,
is a drug.
you know,
Smoking
push
cigarettes is a drug.
Oxy on all of your,
Marijuana is a drug.
patients, and on
Like,
and on and on it goes.
It's not.
So yeah, drug dealers.
Drugs
are trying to make
themselves
money,
are not
and
what's
they'll
bad
use
for
any
you.
reason
It's
to.
it's
And I
your
suppose
reason
it's
for
possible
using
that some people
drugs.
are depressed that the queen is dead,
It's
and
the
they wanna
method
get
you go
high
to get
to relieve that
drugs.
depression.
And if
That's
drugs
the way
are
I feel,
illegal,
I
that's
guess.
the only part of it that makes it a crime to do anything with
Can you imagine
drugs.
being
Drugs
so
shouldn't be
depressed over
criminal.
things? I mean, look,
No, I
I'm sure there are
can't.
people who are depressed, but like, homegirl lived till 96. Like, she lived a full life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it would
She was-
almost be cruel.
Drugs
to,
equal
like,
addiction. Drugs are
I
a
don't
trap
know.
and a one-way trip.
I know. But
No.
look, she reigned for 70 years.
You can-
and she's
you
a
can fight
monarch.
addiction.
You know, there's another word for monarch.
And-
It's called dictator.
You're talking about
And-
basically schedules
They're
of
like,
drugs
"Oh,
and
I
what
love
would be the equivalent here in
dictator." She's a
America.
figurative dictator
Like-
these days. Who, you know, oppressed billions of people. The empire did.
You're not
And,
helping
Queen Elizabeth
a person who's
eventually let
addicted
him
to
go a little bit
drugs
at a time. She was smart,
by
play with it.
locking
I'm
them up
so-
in
I'm
prison.
so depressed.
Like, you're
Why?
just
Why?
not.
You
At
know
least
why
here in
you're
America, you're definitely not.
Because they brainwashed.
You'd help
They
them
made you
by
think that
putting
the
them
monarch
through
was
a
good
process
thing,
that would help
and
them
that,
become
like,
unaddicted.
taking over other countries and stealing
That's
their
what
natural
would be helpful.
resources was a cool empire, and that you should be into it, and you should.
But
worship
incarcerating
kings
them-
and queens. Don't buy into that nonsense. So
Putting them at the
they got
mercy
some
of the
good
prison
drug history,
system.
guys, if you do that.
Oh,
Well,
that.
to be
Oh, I thought
fair,
that
it's
didn't
not
go
just
anywhere for a
drug
second.
dealers that are looking to,
Like,
utilize
locking them up
this
in prison
event,
doesn't help
what-
them
what
stop being
happened,
addicted.
with the queen as an opportunity to increase business.
That's
You
part
have,
of the
like,
proper
creators
way
of
of doing
NFTs
defund the
trying to
police.
slang
Like,
NFTs
defund
of
the police
queen,
isn't about
which I
abolishing
can't
the
even
police.
believe
Well,
that
it is for
anyone
some people,
would
but like not
purchase NFTs at this
logistically
point. But
reasonable.
It's happening. It's still
But
there.
like,
It's
about
there
the
it is.
police
There's an example.
job
Oh, man,
does
that thing is going to be
or is
worth
expected to do
cents
too
soon.
much.
You got to jump on that, man.
And
That thing could go
therefore
up to 3 or
the
4
police
pennies.
don't put as much effort
It's a
into the
deadline,
things that are not
Like,
policing,
there's no way. Like, what are you gonna do with
or
that?
they're spread too thin
But
doing the
this is what we're
policing
dealing
thing
Okay, by the way, though,
because it incorporates
again,
so
are
many
they really
things.
that different than the so-called credible people in our world? What happened after Roe? Women's rights were ripped away from them here in America, and the Democrats jumped out with fundraising emails. They're like, "Send money now!" And behind the scenes, Nancy Pelosi went and supported someone who was against choice, tried and
All right.
fought really hard to and gave money to.
Let's
put
see.
him
I think
back in power.
we
So
got an empty
total liar,
garage, so
you know, is that more
truck
or less
dealership.
moral than the drug dealer? At least the drug dealer is actually going to get you high.
this way is a working way to
Alright,
show
right.
what not to do.
Sorry, my incredible frustration with the left
I'm
online.
not sure I
took up
followed that.
most of the post game today.
Oh, really? I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that rant was about.
This is my
Okay.
opinion. I understand that you may not agree with it. I don't think
Hey, you know,
I
Salt Queen's gonna
fully
Salt
understood
Queen.
your opinion, and of course, everybody's
It is what
opinion
it
is
is.
wrong. Is
I can't
wrong.
get past
That's not what I meant. I didn't.
White
That would
houses
include
on
me,
Twitter
to be clear.
Telling
But,
black voters
everybody's
in
opinion is
Ilhan
different.
Omar's district to fuck off because that's effectively what they're doing.
All right.
78%
Since I'm at the end of the
black
episode,
voters in Ilhan Omar's district did not want to defund the police. Black voters, but no.
right. I mean, you know, on some level, everybody's opinion is wrong. So, I mean, I wasn't wrong. But that's not what I meant to say. For anybody who's watching later on YouTube, hey, if you ever want to get these full discussions, these conversations that happen live, consider hanging out at twitch.tv/HunterMum, because hopefully in the future, when you're watching this recording, I'm still doing this. That would be nice to think of, wouldn't it? This has been Euro Truck Simulator 2. I've been HunterMun, and I will see you in the future.